Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the real reason why Elon Musk pulled out of Twitter deal. Let's get right into it. Just weeks ago, the Tesla CEO said in a filing that he believed Twitter was in material breach of multiple provisions of the April 25th sale agreement, including Musk's request that the social media platform disclose the number of fake and spam accounts. The filing states, Twitter has not provided information that Mr. Musk has requested for nearly 2 months, notwithstanding his repeated, detailed clarifications intended to simplify Twitter's identification, collection, and disclosure of the most relevant information sought in Mr. Musk's original requests. Musk also accused Twitter of breaching the purchase agreement by allegedly failing to continue its regular business operations, citing the company's dismissal of 2 key, high-ranking employees and the announcement of the reduction of 1/3 of its talent acquisition team. But it seems like Twitter wasn't buying what Elon has been arguing. Twitter alleged in a 62-page lawsuit that Elon Musk breached an agreement to purchase the social media company for $44 billion. In its lawsuit, Twitter sought to establish that it has the right to sue Mr. Musk in order to close the deal and to show that Mr. Musk's claims against it were without merit. Instead, it was Mr. Musk who was violating the agreement, the company said. Twitter was harsh, dubbing his escape plan a model of hypocrisy and model of bad faith. The argument was supported by numerous tweets from the billionaire. But what are the main points that Twitter made to try to show that it was not in breach of the deal and that Mr. Musk was? Twitter says it gave Mr. Musk necessary disclosure on spam accounts. In contrast to Mr. Musk's claims that Twitter obstructed his attempts to obtain data on spam accounts, the company stated in its lawsuit that it had provided him with the requested information. When Mr. Musk requested the information, the company complied with some of his requests, such as providing its fire hose or a vast stream of tweets. Twitter claimed in its lawsuit that as it did so, Mr. Musk's information requests became increasingly irrational. According to the lawsuit, from the outset, defendants' information requests were designed to try to tank the deal. The lawsuit then added, Musk's increasingly outlandish requests reflect not a genuine examination of Twitter's processes, but a litigation-driven campaign to try to create a record of non-cooperation on Twitter's part. Twitter says it did not have a material adverse effect. Mr. Musk has argued that Twitter's public discourses, that approximately 5% of its users are bots, are materially misleading, constituting a material adverse effect under the terms of the agreement. Mr. Musk's contract stipulates that Twitter's regulatory disclosures since January must be accurate. Twitter, however, noted in its regulatory filings that the figures were estimates. The chief executive officer of Twitter, Parag Agrawal, has described how the company detects and combats spam bots. Twitter also stated that the existence of bots was a factor in Mr. Musk's desire to acquire Twitter. Twitter says it ran its business as it ordinarily would and kept Mr. Musk updated. Mr. Musk stated that Twitter did not operate its business as he anticipated during the closing of the acquisition, which was another reason he wanted to withdraw from the deal. Among other things, according to Mr. Musk, Twitter slowed its hiring and did not notify him prior to the recent firing of 2 executives, which he claims violated the terms of the contract. Twitter, however, claimed in its lawsuit that its hiring slowdown was consistent with what Mr. Musk had told the company he desired. The company added that it had informed Mr. Musk's attorney of its decision to fire the 2 executives and that the attorneys raised no objection. The lawsuit does not specify when Mr. Musk's attorneys were informed of the decisions. Twitter says Mr. Musk breached the agreement by stopping efforts to close the deal. Mr. Musk is required to use reasonable best efforts to close the deal, which includes securing debt financing for the $44 billion acquisition. However, Twitter claimed in its lawsuit that Mr. Musk appeared to have abandoned his efforts to complete his debt financing in violation of the agreement. Furthermore, he vanished when Twitter's executives, including Ned Segal, its chief financial officer, reached out to discuss spam account statistics that Mr. Musk had expressed concerns about, according to the company. According to the lawsuit, Mr. Musk also allegedly fired executives who were working to help him close the deal, including former Intel CEO Bob Swan. On June 23rd, the suit said that Mr. Musk told Twitter that he had asked Swan to depart the deal proceedings as we were not on the same wavelength. Twitter says Mr. Musk breached the deal terms by disparaging the company. The agreement also prohibited Mr. Musk from disparaging Twitter or its employees in tweets. Yet he did so repeatedly, Twitter argued, in violation of the agreement. The lawsuit included screenshots of several of Mr. Musk's tweets, including one in which he claimed he had been informed by a Twitter attorney that he had violated a non-disclosure agreement. In another, Mr. Musk responded to Mr. Agrawal's tweet with a poop emoji. In addition, Twitter cited Mr. Musk's tweets and conference remarks in which he questioned the veracity of Twitter's disclosures of its spam accounts. That's it for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you never miss out on any future content we'll produce for you guys. We're signing off now, but we'll be sure to catch you all in the next one.